Testing 1, 2, and we are live. How's everybody doing this week? Thanks for joining me. Episode 119 of the Saturday Morning Stand-Up, where we discuss Splinterlands. Yeah, that's right. Almost 3 years now of discussing Splinterlands on almost every Saturday in a row. So good to see you back here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in this fine world. As I always say, I appreciate the time you spend with me. Lots of things going on in Splinterlands. We had a town hall this past week that I had to watch on replay because sometimes the timing isn't exactly right for my daily schedule. So this was in the kind of dinner time period. So I rewatched it. Some good information that we can discuss going forward in this show. We have, I think, the major things that have been going on lately are obviously the wagons going live with the newest conflict, and the airdrop is the dragon. And also what they talked about several things this past week on their live show. But I think one of the major points that I brought out of it was the new basic mode. I don't necessarily like the idea. I don't like the verbiage basic, but as they were talking about, they're accepting ideas on what to claim, what to call it. I like the idea of it. The whole idea, if you didn't catch on this, is it's going to be a new mode, and they've talked about this before. It's a new mode. It's for new players that come into the game, or anybody can play it. But the limitation is going to be that you are limited to the one set of cards and. Sorry, they're called foundations. I always forget that name, but you're going to be limited to the foundation cards, and there's going to be different rewards and everything, and they talked about it. But basically, it's a way for new players to come into the game and then kind of battle other people on the same kind of level. In other words, you have access to foundation cards. Obviously, if you're playing against somebody who's been playing for a while, they have a leg up as far as knowledge of how to play, but you're still limited to the same foundation cards. And, you know, from the foundation cards I've seen, they're looking pretty cool. Now, the other limitation is going to be they're going to be limited to silver level, right? So that is a pretty cool idea. I don't necessarily like the naming for it, but I like the idea. Let's see who's in chat. So Crypto Beaver's here. Welcome. Good morning. Leandro's here. Good afternoon to you as well. Crypto Beaver says, this week, I set up my wagons for conflicts. I did this as well and leveled up a few cards to strengthen my deck. I actually did a video this week where I went in and I built, basically showed how to build a wagon off of some of my things. So we set these up on the last live stream, but I built a wagon. It only has 2,500 on it. I do need to go in and kind of, play around with the cards a little bit. I do like to, I want to get a little bit more points out of that. I am getting one guaranteed drop, which isn't necessarily a whole lot, but, it's better than nothing, right? So looks like my points are going up, but I've got a little bit over 7,000 points so far going on. Crypto Beaver also says, and I also played with my pickle card, that is. Yeah, I don't know how much the, let's go to the season activity. I don't know if the bot that I use in Wild has been picking up the pickle. I don't think so. I do have a maxed out gold foil pickle now, though. Part of that due to me buying it, and part of that courtesy of Matt filling in the extra BCX. So I don't think that the bot is picking up the pickle yet for Wild usage. I just had to look back through here. The bot does tend to use this new one. I've got the Caravan Guard in black foil quite a lot. That seems to be a nice card. That one of the better, if not the best, common of the set. DeHaas is in the house. Welcome. Good morning. Setting up to mow and listen again today. Well, have fun. It's looking kind of like it's going to rain today here. My wife mowed day before last, so She usually does the mowing around the house because she likes to do it, and I have allergies and I don't like doing it. So we make a good pair. Paul Taylor's in the house. Welcome. Howdy. Our Faded Glory is here. Says good morning. VT Mac Guru's in the house. Happy Saturday. Wibble's here with the Beavers Assemble. For some reason, I get the Super Friend, the Wonder Twins powers activate, that kind of thing. Mystic Force, safe. Audi78's here. Hello. Welcome. Obviously, Crypto Beaver says win Beaver, because Beavers assemble. Crypto Beaver agreed that the town hall was good. I liked it. It didn't stretch on too long. I don't really like when they stretch on too long and people start asking dumb questions. I'm sorry. I know they say that there's no such thing as a dumb question. Some of these town halls stretch on for hours and hours, and there's no real need for it. So I do like the fact that Matt and them have been picking up and answering questions in the town hall channel once in a while. So that has also helped out. But I like when the town halls are to the point, they cover the information they need to. Obviously, a lot of the town hall is kind of marketing, kind of, interfacing with the crowd. And that's what I love about, one of the things I love about Splinterlands is the fact that the team actually interfaces with the people that play the game. There's a lot of games out there that you can pump tons of money into and you don't ever talk to the crew that makes the game, right? So it's good to hear from them and, so I liked it. I liked it was nice and concise and to the point. Let's see what else is going on. Leandro says, I'm going to play full time, the basic mode. Nice. Yeah, I would expect it. I'm going to try it out. It's nice to get in and kind of have a play mode where things are kind of constrained. In other words, things are kind of limited. And everybody has access to the same kind of things, and then it's just a test of your mettle, your play, and I think that's a great place for people to come into the game. And a lot of other games have this too, right? You come into the game, you start playing, you have these low end cards or whatever, and you start playing against people who are, have the same stuff as you, right? And then you gradually level up and then you're playing against people higher. Up to this point in Splinterlands, it's basically, you have this new set of cards and they're kind of low level, but then you're dumped in against, people with all the newest sets, Rebellion and Conclave, so, which arguably, there's some of the starter cards that are good, but the other stuff is going to be more powerful. And obviously that's the way it's built, right? So, Lady Sharon's here. Welcome, Sharon. Thanks for dropping by. A lot of Win Beavers going on and a Ben Beaver. I guess there's a lot of the Beaver Guild in the house. DeHaas says basic is what I'm really waiting for to really start taking up the game with TCG folks. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. You're relatively new to the game. Lady Sharon's relatively new to the game. Obviously, this would have been great, a couple months ago when you guys started playing. But this is an evolution. This is a game that if you've seen it, if you've watched the town halls, the team is very upfront. They talk to people. They take people's ideas. And these are all ideas that have come in and people have known that the game needs this kind of thing, But the fact of the matter is they have a relatively small development crew and things need to be prioritized. And the first thing that they did prioritize, a year and a half ago was getting the game back on track. Trying to make the game look better on mobile to get the mobile out. And by the way, I'm really looking forward to them getting it out on iOS. They did make a small statement on that on the live stream or on the town hall where evidently they had dropped it. I mean, it sounds like I think, I don't have a whole lot of experience here, but I think that there are some different rules and stipulations that they have to meet to get the app on the iOS store. and it sounds like they've put it in for approval a couple times at least, and it's been shot down, and they kind of backburnered it. So it sounds like hopefully they bring that front and center, because I'm looking forward to seeing that on iOS. Obviously, I think that worldwide, the audience for Android is probably a lot bigger, just from guesses, because it's nice that they hit that mark with Android, but from an iOS user's perspective, I'm looking forward to seeing it on iOS, because I would like to, not that I'm going to play it primarily on iOS, but it'd be nice to have when I'm sitting out and burning a little time, play a few rounds of cards, right? So let's see here. Doombot's in the house. Welcome, Doombot. OFG Play says, I'm at around 60-ish% for guaranteed airdrop, so I'll be crossing my fingers. Yeah, I mean, the airdrop's nice. From a newer or lower player perspective, I wouldn't say to go out of your way and stress yourself out about trying to get an airdrop, because, you spend a lot of, you spend money on the wagons are only about $5 a piece last time I looked, so it's not necessarily the wagon, it's the stuff you put on the wagon, right? And like I said, I took part in the last set of airdrops, and I got 2 cards out of it. And the cards are 1 BCX each, so, when you're playing at higher levels, like I'm playing Diamond 1, Champ 3, I shut the bot off for the live stream, but those 1 BCX cards, they're nice to have, but they don't necessarily get played unless you go ahead and level them up, right? So, obviously I'm looking forward to the Dragon card, and I'm obviously looking forward to the new legendary. Obviously it'll be followed up with some legendary Archons as well. So looking forward to those as well. Lady Sharon says, so some tourneys want you to be validated, which means adding an ID. I Googled and AI said you needed to be to buy credits. Is that true? I used PayPal to buy the spell book. Can I use PP for credits? You can use you can use PayPal. I use PayPal all the time. You can also use crypto if you want, but since you're not really familiar with crypto, I use PayPal all the time because it's easy. You can use PayPal, buy credits, and then those credits can be used for most anything in the game. Because behind the scenes, you buy credits, and when you use those credits, behind the scenes, the team has some kind of mechanism that converts those credits into DEC when you use it, and then the DEC gets used. So like if you buy credits and then buy a card off somebody, then you buy the card off them, you get your card, the credits get converted to DEC in the background, and the other person gets it in their account. So yes, you can use PayPal. And at this point in time, that's about the easiest way to do it. The only thing you can't do is use PayPal to buy specifically like DEC or SPS. And that's due to banking regulations, crypto regulations overall. There's a lot of hoops, and this is one of the biggest walls to people getting into and playing the game. There's some walls to jump over because there's all this regulation in the banking world about what makes this and what makes that, and it's basically putting a lot of limitations on crypto, okay? And some of that regulation is there to protect us as consumers, right? But it is a lot of hoops to jump through. So all that to say, PayPal is probably your best bet. Paul Taylor says, do you have a preferred rename for basic mode? I haven't thought about it a whole lot, but I just know that, I don't know, basic just seems, I don't know, something a little bit off for me. I'm not, obviously like one of their points in town hall was, nothing's set in stone, right? And Matt has talked about this forever, right? If they see something that's broken or they see something that needs to be changed, they're going to change it. Obviously, you need to do tests before you change something. Something like a name is just kind of, it's everybody's going to feel different about it. I don't know. I just don't. Basic seems so basic. I want something a little bit better. So let me think about it. I'll get back to you. Sudion says, I got excited with the idea of customizing avatars. Me too. I like that idea. Maybe equip them with sword and shield and pummel your opponents that you can usually defeat in ranked. I feel that most games have some sort of way to customize your avatar. We have been stuck with this same set of pictures for years. Since I started playing, this is the same set of pictures. I've been this old fisherman since I started playing, right? And I've never understood why this has not been expanded, right? Because it seems like it'd be a very basic thing to be able to add some more avatars. Now, as far as being able to customize your avatars, that's going down a little bit more of a road of building things out. But it's going in the direction where a lot of games go. A lot of games are selling all kinds of skins and everything. In this game, there's so much they could do with it, as far as being able to win different customizations, earn different customizations through play, buy different customizations, bid on different customizations in the market, and things like that. And you could earn them, make them sellable. Obviously, there's a lot of things they would have to test around that to make sure that it wasn't abusable. But pick up these different customizations. I love the idea, and it seems to be going down one of those roads they've talked about for a while. I don't know why we've been stuck with the same avatar for years, other than it just kind of was very low priority. So. I had to check on my production. Okay, so I claimed 2 days ago. I switched a little bit of cards around this week. I watched Gathering the Magic's video this past week, and one of the points he made was that they were talking about possibly another use. He had switched one of his lands back to doing research. I have two plots that are making aura currently. And he made a strong case for switching one of the lands back to doing research for, what was it they were talking about? The land cards. Love that idea. If you missed that, of course, not many details. He did send some artwork out, but, they're still working with the numbers and everything. But they're going to come out with a small set of 4 cards that are specifically for land usage. I'm so there. But the point is, they haven't released what it's going to actually take to make those cards, okay? Is it going to take aura? Is it going to take research? It's probably going to take a combination of other materials, but which one is it going to take? Currently, I'm not producing any research. I'm producing aura. So he made a strong argument for switching one of my lands back to research. So I'm thinking about that. Crypto Beaver says basic mode should be called core or starter. I'm not so bad with core. Emmy Wanty is here. Thanks for stopping by. TBD is my favorite random name. I came up with a new mode. Leandro says, I think the team undervalue basic mode for people who are here for a long time and are not whales. Well, I think it's really a fine line. It's a hard thing to do in business. You need new players coming into the game, but you also need to keep presenting value for the whales. I'm not an anti-whale, okay? There are some people in this game, the top end, that keep this game afloat. They spend so much money in the game, they literally keep the game afloat. Okay, so I'm not arguing against new players. We obviously need a bunch of new players, right? And they need to make this fine line where they're presenting good value and a good game for new players to come in, and they need to present a value for people who have put thousands, nay, hundreds of thousands of dollars into this game over the years. Okay, so it's a fine balancing mode, and I try to look at this the new changes from a player perspective. And you could say that I'm not a new player, right? I've been playing for more than 4 years. I'm kind of in the middle somewhere, right? But I'm definitely not a whale. And I think a lot of people fall into the position of, screw the whales and stuff like that. But you know what? If it weren't for the whales, this game still would not still be around. But I agree. This needs to be, and I think they've made a lot of good changes in that light, going towards improving the new player experience over the last year. A lot of positive, and we're still rolling with it. A lot of the updates we've seen in the last several months, besides the new card packs, which they need to get out because that's how they make their money, right? And keep the business going. But a lot of the changes we've seen this year have been towards that new player experience and improving it for everybody. So. But I agree. I think everybody, even us long timer guys, will jump in and play the new mode. Just try it out, see what we can do, right? Lady Sharon says she likes the name Core. Leandro says I have $1,600 in cards, and basic mode plus silver level extra cards will be awesome though. DeHaas says, having helped QA through Works iOS rework for what was an established app, Apple is rough to work with for even minor changes. Yeah, I've heard about that. We have a few different testings where I work that we're not a game. We do a different type of app, but Apple is a lot more stringent. But I mean, it's not impossible to work on. There's thousands of games to get through there. I think the major thing here is that it's crypto. I think there are a lot of regulations stipulating what you can do in an iOS app with crypto, what you can't do, etc. So I'm not going to dive into that because I'm not haven't done my homework. Okay, let's see here. M. Thompson's in the house. Welcome. DeHaas says wagon's almost at $6 right now. Haven't looked at it since the other day when I did a video. Let's see, other items. I might sell some wagons. I don't know. Yeah, almost $6. There are under 100 for sale. Also, Gathering made a good point in his video this last week, was that there's just such a small amount of wagons here, right? And take into account the new rule change, that for the airdrops. Okay, they talked about it on the show the other day. Okay, so there's this math, and I'm not exactly sure how it works out, but it's possible to get more airdrops if you're lucky than the amount of wagons that you actually have. Okay, and going into this, they thought that that would be just a very small number, so they just rode with it. But they redid the numbers, and they found that that's a lot higher number of people that would fall into that category than what they thought. So this first airdrop, that rule set's still going to go. But the next airdrop and going forward, if you don't have enough wagons, say for instance, I got 5 airdrops and I only had 4 wagons, then when the airdrop happened, you would be presented with a little error pop-up that said, hey, you're missing a wagon. Do you want to go ahead and buy a wagon kit? If you do, then you can go ahead and get your airdrop. If you don't, then you just lose that airdrop. And I think it's all going to really come down to, I think most airdrops in the past have been worth more than $5. So I think it's worth it from the money perspective, right? Most of these airdrops, we're talking about $15, $25 cards when they first hit the market, right? especially if they're gold foil. There'll be a lot more than that. But just one thing to pay attention. But I'm getting kind of off on a tangent here. The main point that Gathering was making the other day is the fact that there's just a low number of wagon kits here, and that it wouldn't take anything for leading up to or on the day of that first airdrop for all these wagon kits to just go. Somebody come in here and scoop them up. They'll, people find, oh, I need 5 wagon kits or whatever. They go off the market, right? So I'm thinking about making some wagon kits. So I did make one wagon kit the other day for my extra wagon though. So it's relatively easy. They've made the whole process easy since I've on land. I've got the stuff already made. Our Faded Glory says, I have one black foil rare, but it just isn't enough for a guaranteed card, but it's all good. Yeah, I have 2 black foil commons on my wagons. I'm not going to worry about it. I think my main point is, if you're relatively new to the game, don't stress out about it, okay? It's not something I'd go throw hundreds of dollars into it. Now, if you have a decent amount of cards or packs that you want to stake, go ahead and buy yourself a couple wagons, Crypto Beaver says, if you want to join a guild, may I suggest Immortal Beavers? We have 2 spots left. Good deal. I think we might have an extra spot left in my secondary guild if anybody needs one. Give me a ping. I will ask KGM Jam if we have a spot open. International Travel Channel's here. Guten Tag. Thanks for dropping by. Lady Sharon says, but I can buy credits without giving Splinterlands my driver's license. You can buy them with PayPal, so yeah, you wouldn't have to do anything with the driver's license. Lady Sharon says, I like my avatar. I generally just look for a blonde female character. Doesn't look like a bimbo, but extra avatars would be cool too, as long as they don't cost DEC or something. Well, they're trying to add more functionality or more things you can get in the game. So for instance, just like other games, you win, you open a chest. These are examples, right? So say for instance, let's go to rewards. Okay, say for instance, you open a chest and you get, I don't know, a new hat or something or other, something that you could put on your character in the game, or you win a certain amount of games, you win a certain amount of matches, you win 1,000 matches, and sorry, had to cough. You win a certain amount of matches, you get a new set of armor for your character, something or other, something like that, just like other games have, and that would make your character look different, right? Or you earn say for instance, you earn a title, or say for instance, something can give your character a black foil appearance or something like that. These are all just skins, right? And obviously they're more work on the team, but these are the way other big companies make millions of dollars on a yearly basis, right? People want to differentiate themselves and look different than other people in the game. So, and as far as us, think about it this way, Sharon. I've been playing for more than 4 years, and this has been my same icon for 4 years. So, not that I have anything against the old fisherman dude, because he has a great beard and he's smoking a pipe. But I'm ready for some new functionality and something new you could get in a chest or for some other purpose. Somehow you could earn in the game, or you could earn it, or you could buy it on the shop, whatever, just different functionality. Wibble says B avatars. What is a B avatar? Crypto Beaver says, beaver avatars. Hope we get to create a beaver avatar. Merlin's Matrix is here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Leandro says, I think I didn't explain it well. I meant that even for me that plays since 2021, I will live in the basic mode. Well, Everybody plays differently. Everybody has a different budget. Everybody finds something different in the game. There's so many different things you can do in the game and everything requires a little bit of a budget. Obviously, the whole, from a business perspective, they're going to want you to level up the cards and spend more money on packs, right? You don't necessarily have to do that. Like I said, this account plays. This account plays in the Diamond 1 to Champ kind of area. And this is my main account. However, I've got a secondary account that plays basically in the Silver area, Why did that not log in? Okay. And this is my KGM Jam guild player, so this plays primarily in like the Silver level. So you can come up to a certain level, and his argument is that maybe, I don't know, maybe you find great value and you just want to sit in that. You find you're having fun, you're earning a little bit, so why not? So Paul says, they are letting us rename basic mode. Did you see the post from Blaze in the official announcement? You need to post the name you like in the UX room. Yeah, they had mentioned that on the show the other day. They have put it up for a vote. Basically, if you have any ideas, just go over into the UX room, which stands for user experience. So he talked about it. Nate talked about it a little bit on the show and said, yeah, they understand that maybe it's not the best name, but he gave some reasoning why he called it basic. You have to have some name to throw out there when you're working on it, right? So, but they're open for changing it. DeHaas says 28 viewers and only 14 thumbs up. Go turn that up. Vote blue if you enjoy Bronze Dragon's channel. Yeah, I would appreciate it. As always, I think people get tired of us YouTubers say like and subscribe, but really it just helps us out. Liking on the video if you watch it, and also the live stream pushes it out to more people to see it, and obviously subscribing helps us out as well. And if you want to see whenever I put out new content, you can click the little bell thing and get alerts. Gathering the Magic's in the house. Good morning to you all. Hope everyone is doing well. Same back to you. Got your fortune tickets? I do not. I have not made any fortune tickets due to the fact that I have my gold foil pickle, or I have, you know what? I have not even bought any of the Tesoshi. I was so interested in the pickle, and I got my gold foil pickle that I have not even worried about Tesoshi, and I have not worried about the tickets, the fortune tickets. There's so much. Here's the thing. There's so much going on in the game that you just can't get into everything, right? You have to decide what you're going to get into. And what he's talking about is if you go into land, if you go into, no, where is it? Production? Where is it? There's so much to pick from now that I can't figure out where you go in to make something. It's got to be under land, right? Trade hub? Markets? No. Yeah, I can't even figure. They've changed things around so much, I can't even figure out how to get in and make something. Yeah, I don't even know. Anyway, the pickle, let's see here. If you go under the pickle, after this is over in 5 days, there is going to be another phase where you can get the drawing for a really nice, one of the better pickles. That sounds funny saying, but you can create fortune tickets, and then you can also actually sell them on the market, and people can use them if you want to get in and get your name in the drawing for one of these nice pickles. And it appears that will be on July 29th. So that's what he's talking about. It just land production artisan quarter. Yeah, it's very convoluted. But see, you can see here that you can make an auction mark, you can make a fortune ticket, you can make a midnight potion, or you can make a wagon kit. These are all things that people with land who are producing the various wood, stone, iron, and aura can create. And all these, you can use them, or you can turn around and sell them on the market. So, Lady Sharon says, I don't like that harming or destroying a wagon when you get a card isn't nice to lower players. Was thinking of putting a little more into the game and buying a wagon just to have a chance. Well, it's basically they found some reason, and I don't know what the reasoning is behind needing to do that. Basically, the wagons are going to be about $5-6, but the card you get off of the airdrop is usually in the $20 to $30 range. So I don't know exactly what brought about the need for damaging wagons, because in the last airdrop in Rebellion that didn't happen. Gathering says not many out there for the gold foil arcane pickle draws. Yeah, well, gold foil arcane, any of the arcanes are going to be very small numbers. So let's go to the market. So looks like there's not even any arcane pickles. Of course, they haven't. Nobody has an arcane pickle up there. A black foil is going for $250. You can see the gold foil arcane skinwalker is going for over $1,700. So, and no gold foil arcane grandma is available. So here's the Tasoshi we were talking about earlier. Just a regular foil is $4. Wibble says RNG hates me. Please don't tempt me with your arcane pickles. Yeah, I got my gold foil and I'm happy with that. So I have not been concentrating on making any of the tickets, and I've just been kind of amassing the aura that I have. Oh, I'm in the wrong. I'm in the wrong account. Yeah, I've just been saving up the aura that I have. So, yeah. Used a little bit of it to make a wagon the other day, but Gathering says every ticket gets you a pickle at least. Yeah. Our Faded Glory says, I don't know. I think I had to give them my license when I opened the $70 account. Gathering says, starting to do research again. Now that Cryptomancer announced land cards, we may need to research them to unlock. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit before you popped on in reference to your video this past week. You're tempting me to switch one of my lands back to research. Both of my magic lands that I have are actually doing aura right now. So I have 2 rare magic land, or I have 1 rare and 1 common magic land, and it's been producing aura since aura started. Sharon says, would you like an actual dragon avatar? Yeah, that would be cool. I'd jump on a dragon. You know me. Karen's in the house. Hello, welcome. Says, hello all. Does everyone have your tickets for the pickle? Yeah, that's what Gathering just said. No, I don't have tickets because I have a golden pickle already. I'm not worried about the arcane. There's my golden pickle. Hasn't got much usage yet. Merlin's Matrix says quest mode would be my choice for basic mode. Also, we have 3 spaces in our guild Excalibur. Okay, well, Merlin's Matrix got 3 spots in Excalibur if you're interested. You know what? That's an interesting name because one other point that they brought back was, guess what's back? Daily quests. This is like a question Sharon had asked me like early on. What happened to the daily quest? Because she was looking at older videos. And, you know, if you've been playing for a while, you know, we had an evolution of daily quests and, you know, they went through a few name changes and, you know, you got different prizes along the way. Back in the day, you got some good stuff for doing the daily quests, right? But they're bringing them back for the new mode. So that's going to be a cool thing and definitely give somebody probably an incentive for most people to actually play in that mode, even if you've been playing for quite a while, right? So it would be interesting to see what you actually get out of the daily quests. And I imagine something or other to help improve your cards. But keep in mind that that new mode will be limited to silver level. Alex B is here. Welcome, Alex. Says XRP needs to go up more than we'll use Splinterlands. I do not use XRP. Lucky Dwarf's here. Good evening to you as well. Gathering says XRP sounds like it may go up so much it may shock people if it becomes part of the new banking system. I don't keep up with that. Gathering says I submitted Odyssey for the new game mode name. Interesting. Beaker's here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Our Faded Glory says, oh, I like Odyssey mode. Yeah. Make sure you submit that over there in the channel. Sudion says, I feel like we should definitely include burning older cards as a recipe for land cards, or else it takes away from the original purpose of land. That would be an interesting requirement. They would have to balance out the costs, you know, because it could get kind of expensive, you know. Of course, they're going to make a card in each of the rarities, so obviously the expense would go up. But it's definitely an idea. You might throw it out there for them. I agree. Well, let me state it this way. Land wasn't originally just for soaking up cards. Now, when we got around to the fact that Chaos Legion was way overprinted, then it became, in my opinion, one of their crutches that they fell back on. They're like, oh, we're going to make it a big card soak, okay? Originally, the idea wasn't really there in the white paper, right? Obviously, the white paper said, oh, you staked cards and everything, but it wasn't the primary motivator behind land. And to me, I think they kind of, land became a fix-all for that problem, if you get me. So, you know, it is what it is. I agree with you. If the, primary one of the big purposes for land as it's evolved has been soaking up and using a lot of the extraneous older cards that everybody has that have been playing for a while, then they have to think about that as well. I mean, and we still have a lot of extraneous, Chaos Legion cards on the market for a relatively low price, Although the 1 cent cards that used to be 1 cent are now up to 5 cents, it looks like. So Doombot says, I'm going with Academy mode for the new mode. Feeds in from the campaign. That's a good idea. I like that. Gathering says, as far as I can tell, there are only 2,500 or so tickets with 50 days of pickles. That is only 50 tickets per day. Yeah. So what you're saying is that it's pretty good odds if you get your ticket. Emmy Wanty says, pickles can be won in my Wednesday and Friday tournaments. Just come in second place. Nice. Nice little prize. Little pickle for the winner. Gathering the Magic says, if you only have even 1 or 2 tickets, you have a decent chance at getting a $300 plus gold foil arcane pickle. My guess in price. My guess is as we get down towards that date, there will be a lot more tickets. DeHaas says, arcane pickles aren't released until the next round. Correct. Ike is here. Welcome. Afternoon. Random is here. I'm just passing by to drop a like. Well, thanks. I appreciate it. Lady Sharon says, got a phone call, so I'm about 3 minutes behind. But getting daily quests would be great. That is like the bread and butter of a lot of similar games, I think. I started watching the town hall, but it's a bit long, so I didn't get very far. Well, guess what? This was a short town hall. Some of the town halls go for 3 hours. But they usually cover a lot of information, and they're only one time a month now. They used to be every other week, so they've kind of pared them down, but the ones that we do get usually have a fair amount of information to them. So, oh, you know what I didn't do yet? I didn't buy my weekly card pack. Let's go in and buy me a card pack. Conclave Arcana. Alchemy. Let's go with credits. Go with 1. Cross my fingers here. Need to make sure I got enough black foil potions. Wibble says, any news on Raven Idol? No. No, I keep checking on that once in a while, and they had some major problem where they went live and they just weren't ready for the numbers they got. So, Gathering says, can you top last week's pack? I don't think so. Well, I mean, yes, you could top it. I mean, technically, what I got was a black foil common. So technically, a black foil or any of the arcanes would top that, right? Okay, so I got enough potions to go. So, hey, look at this. I'm down to 820 alchemy potions. That's weird. I have not been under thousands of alchemy potions in years. Okay, cross your fingers for me. Let's go ahead and open this. See what we got here. Oh, there's an epic. There's a rare. So I got a... Whoa, it's a gold foil epic. And a regular epic, or it could be a gold foil epic, and a rare. Let's look at the commons first. Okay. Thragoon is a rare. Okay. What is the epic? Full and Flame Eye. And what's the gold foil epic? Nice. That's 2 weeks right in a row. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Not a black foil, but it's a gold foil epic. Let's look at my gold foil. So that was the first one of that one that I got, you know. Oh, also, I'll mention that they changed this. One of the new changes to the UI is instead of the number of cards you have being up here to the right in like a red circle, it is down below the card. It took me a few minutes to figure that out. I'm still pretty low on legendaries because they are pricey. But my amount of epics is pretty good here. Like I said, I'm only playing in like the silver level for my guild brawls. I've been trying to take the gold foil silver brawl over, and I think this week I've got the gold foil modern, but I switch back and forth depending upon what's needed. So yeah, pretty good draw this week. Got a Fallen Flame Eye and a Umbral Elemental. Helps the deck out. I love speed. I love swiftness. Emmy Wanty says Pioneer Mode, as I like to call it, may be rough at first with all novice cards and not many cards to pick from. We did a foundation tournament to test, and there was limited teams to pick for sure. Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's going to end up being kind of like what it was back in the day, where there's going to be there's going to be a couple strong teams as far as splinters go, or elements, sorry, and those are going to rise to the top. And basically, as we know, when you play this game, every different level you play at, there is going to be, hey, Crypto Beaver sent me a fortune ticket. Thanks. Maybe I'll get fortunate. Maybe I might make a few more tickets. Who knows? But my point is that since you're new to the game, everything, since we have new players here, the game changes at each different level. So what cards are necessarily really strong and kind of the in-game kind of teams at the top in Champ aren't necessarily that way down in Bronze or Silver. Because as those characters, those cards rank up, they get different powers. And each different level is going to have different sets of cards or elements that are stronger at any particular level. So the game definitely changes, and it will be limited to like silver, right? And I think that there will probably be a couple of the elements that will come out as stronger at that level. So pretty good stuff the past 2 weeks. They have definitely changed the UI around a lot. Trying to get used to that. He was talking about this Nate was, that is, in that they kind of just threw this on us, and nobody was expecting this, right? Where you have to go into the season activity. But what he said was the reasoning behind this is now that the match history has its own page, they're going to be able to do more things with it. And I think they have the idea of being able to put more filters in it. So if you're looking for specific information out of your match history, you're going to be able to filter in different ways. So I think that's what I took away from his explanation, in the fact that it's not necessarily there now, but now that the match history is on its own separate page, they're going to be able to do more with it, and we're going to be able to pull more information out of it. So that was good to hear from him, because I was hoping that they didn't just kind of randomly make this change. So I have been kind of keeping my eye on land. Obviously, I've been trying to see if there's any deals. Haven't found any deals in the regions I'm in lately, but I've been changing my land around a little bit at a time, trying to average things out and keep my aura production up. Where was that? Oh. And I've been keeping my eye on my Splinter Trader. It's been making a little bit. I'm up to 422. Like I said, once that gets up to 500,000, I'm going to start drawing off the DEC and putting it back into the game. All very interesting. I also need to jump in and take care of, play a little bit more campaign mode. I wanted to do a video on running through the campaign mode. Just not enough days in the week. I do need to go ahead and go in and rebalance out. Wonder if you can clear and then let's do this. Clear all. See, I had 135,650. Now let's autofill. See if I get more. Okay, yeah, so some of my newer cards filled in there, so I have a little bit more. I'm getting a little bit more points per hour. That's cool. I like this functionality. Before you had to go in and you can only do it so often. You can only clear every 15 minutes and you can only autofill every 60 minutes. But this functionality makes it a lot easier. You used to have to do this manually and it was kind of a pain, to me at least. So now, if you get draw some better cards as far as, Rebellion or Conclave, then you can go in and clear your wagons and then autofill, and it should pull all the best cards for those spots out and put it in your wagons. So I like that. Well, we're drawing down to the bottom of the hour. I want to say thanks to everybody for dropping by. Gathering says, have a card to give away, but since I don't stream, I'm trying to think of a good way to do a drawing for it. Yeah, I've done that before where you do a video and come up with some way of, encouraging commentary, comments on the video so that when people leave a comment, you're going to put their name on the drawing. But you need to put a window on that and say, okay, well, put a comment on this video and leave your hive name in the commentary, and then the comments get cut off at certain date and time, and then at that date and time, then everybody who's left a comment on your video, they can get in on the drawing. That seems to be a good way. I've done that before. And it does two things, it encourages people to check out your video, and it also encourages people to go ahead and leave a comment on the video, which we talk about a lot as YouTubers, but it's very important with the algorithm. Even if you just say hello or thanks for the video or something like that, it shows that the video is getting getting interaction, which helps. Gathering says, stay tuned. You will want this one. Thanks for the idea. Our Faded Glory says, I just used an X picker for a giveaway. Yeah, I use that wheel all the time, but try to get a little bit of interaction out of it as well. Paul Taylor says, you have a red dot on your SPS window. Yeah, it's the proposal. I don't... I usually vote on these things, but I don't, all these different liquidity pools and stuff like that, I don't know enough about them. And I guess this kind of thing will only help the game. So in a lot of cases where it seems like it's a kind of a no-brainer where it would help the game, but there's a lot of this stuff that I just don't get into. So I'll probably vote for it because it seems like it's one of those things that if we were on base, then it would only help us. But I'm not one of those guys that gets on it and just talks about the crypto tokens. So I don't know enough to talk about that. So I used to cover, and sometimes I'll do videos that cover the proposals. And for those new players in the chat. One of the things about this game is that if you have SPS staked, then you also have a vote in the direction the game it gets changed, right, in a lot of situations. Okay, I'm not going to dive in deep because there are more details here, but basically what you'll see under the proposal sections are things that get put up for a vote, and the more SPS you have staked, then the bigger vote you have. And most of these votes are changes that will be made to the SPS DAO, things that will be changed about SPS. And since you're new players, you probably don't understand it a whole lot, but I mean, it's interesting that this game allows you, and a lot of other Web3 type games, allows you to actually vote on the future of the game changes. So that's one of the things I really love about the architecture of a Web3 game. You can actually, it encourages obviously to invest more in the game. The more you have invested in the game, then the bigger your vote counts. And some things I really care about, some things I don't know enough about and I don't have the time to invest. But this kind of thing, obviously it goes up into draft, and then if it passes in draft, then it goes up into proposals. So that's just a brief explanation for the new players on that. But we are at the bottom of the hour, so once again, I want to say thanks for joining me. Appreciate everybody dropping by and checking out my videos. Leave a like and subscribe, and I hope everyone's doing well in this July. As always, I say I hope everyone on your side is happy and healthy. And hey, I'll see you in Splinterlands.